Paranormal Nightshift, the man in the chair.
Welcome to Paranormal Nightshift, your home for all things that go bump in the dark and your fan stories told here. Today's story comes in from Marjorie. When I was a CNA and working night shift, I constantly saw shadows moving around the rooms, little balls of light floating around, etc. And eventually, I kind of got used to them. But one night in particular, I was walking down the halls quietly, doing my check-ins, just checking to see if any of the elderly patients had fallen out of bed, which occurred occasionally. Sometimes they would forget that they needed a wheelchair or a walker to be able to go to the restroom. But anyway, I'm walking quietly down these halls, listening and peeking into rooms one by one, and I remember this one room for a patient, we'll call her Sam. Her son had requested that we kept the door open at all the times, unless we were providing care. But this one night, the door was closed. I open the door and I see the shadow of a man sitting in the chair next to her. Now, I assume it's her son, but it's also 2 o'clock in the morning. I apologize and I shut the door again. After that incident, I get a call from her room telling us, like a page, to go to her room. I go to the room and sure enough, the man sitting in the chair is not there. But then I get this really weird gut feeling. I get this gut feeling to check her vitals, and sure enough, her blood pressure is dropping, her heart rate is slowing down, and her oxygen levels are ridiculously low. Call for codes, rush her to the ER, and then I spend most of my time trying to figure out where her son had gone, because he was sitting in the room with her, or at least I thought. We make the phone call to the emergency contacts, and I was surprised that he had answered the phone. "Hey, where are you? You were just here a couple minutes ago. Your mom is not doing well." He was very shocked and told me he hadn't been at the hospital all night, that he had planned to be there in the morning. We rush her to the ER. She ends up making it, and everything was fine. But her son was very concerned about the idea that somebody else was in the room, and I told everyone what I saw. My charge nurse pulled me aside and said, "I know what you saw. I've seen it too. It's a shadow figure. He comes in and out of rooms and sits with patients, but when he's seen and when he's acknowledged, that's when the patients take a turn for the worse. He might have been there to try to take her life that night, but because you saw him, you saved her." I know it's eerie, this Grim Reaper idea, this shadow figure who would come and take souls, but there's something peaceful in knowing that by me seeing him, he couldn't do it that night. I don't know much about the paranormal, and I don't really look into it that much, but I know I've seen things and I've heard stories, and I think that maybe we are the guardian angels that are meant to set and take him away until it is their time. Thank you for sharing my story, and I really enjoy Paranormal Nightshift. Tell me what you think in the comments about shadow people and the Grim Reaper.